anything is possible.
If you try and be patient, it pays off while you're waiting. The seeds you water will grow, the rest will follow. Cause this life's what you're making, and some rules are for breaking. Destiny will play its role, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything is possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Doesn't always make sense why some things gotta happen. Fight through the rain, cause you know the sun will follow. If you practice persistence, somebody's gonna witness. You're working hard and it shows, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything is possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Are you ready to go? I've waited for a long time. I must be out of my mind. Now I'm ready for this to start. When the lights go out, it's so dark. When the moment comes, you'll find the part. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?
Okay, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for our April session of our webinar series. My name is Greg Zidane and I'll be working you through this tonight. I want to do a couple quick housekeeping things. First and foremost, if you're not familiar with our webinar platform, you guys are all muted and you will not be able to unmute yourselves. But we do have a chat function down near the bottom of your screen. And I would encourage you to participate and ask any questions through that feature. Lastly, this webinar is being recorded and will be made available on michiganscouting.org and through email for later watching. Next slide, please. Briefly touch on the payment schedule. We are down approaching the final payment. Merit badge sessions are underway and in sign up right now. Your final payments are due on May 3rd, as I'm sure you know. If you're having any problems, please reach out to us. We'll do everything we can to help. And as a gentle reminder, there are no late fees for Weeblo crossovers. So if you're stressing out about getting your crossovers figured out right now, I know a lot of packs have pushed crossovers in blue and gold's back. Don't stress over your crossovers. We're not going to charge them a late fee. Next slide. Really quickly touch on our longtime camp director, Gus Chuderash. For those of you who do not know, Gus has began his retirement. We are very happy for him and wishing him the best of luck in retirement. Going forward, I have been named the camp director at Cole Canoe Base, and I look forward to serving in that capacity and working with you guys as we get through this summer. If you guys would like to, go ahead and send Gus a note of congratulations. He's excited for the next chapter in his life. So thank you, Gus, for all that you've done, and best of luck moving forward. Next slide, Chris. Thank you. If you guys have been on our webinars before, I'm sure you have seen this is our customer service statement and our policy. And I want to point specifically to what we are trying to do to make this summer the best that we can for you. I know we're having a lot of challenges and concerns relating to some of our COVID procedures, and specifically the merit badge pod structure and wait list. We are working diligently to get all of this so that it can be the absolute best experience for you guys and for your scouts this summer. If you're having problems with waitlist or concerns with the pod structure, please reach out to me directly. And we are doing everything we can to accommodate everybody and make this work. I thank you for your patience in this adventure. And please reach out to me if there's anything else I can do. Jeremy, email me and I'll get that to you. We have a video now. Chris, if you can hit play.
In an effort to minimize illness at camp, the Michigan Crossroads Council is asking that families check on the health of each camper daily, beginning 14 days prior to their arrival to camp. The best camp sessions start with healthy campers, and this begins at home. Using the form provided, please indicate in the Start Date box the date you will begin the screening process. This screening should begin exactly 2 weeks before your arrival to camp. Utilizing the provided tracking table, families will record a temperature and conduct a verbal symptoms check each day. If any temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher is recorded, or if you mark yes to any of the symptoms, please have your camper evaluated by a licensed provider. A temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, and or marking yes to any of the symptoms, means that your camper will not be able to attend camp. Please contact your camp director for further guidance if this occurs. Families will also be asked to initial the final 4 boxes and sign the form the day of departure for camp. If you require further assistance in determining if your camper can attend camp, please refer to the medical screening checklist, which can be found on the reverse side of the pre-camp health screening form. Pre-camp health screening forms will be kept on file with the unit leader while at camp. They will not be collected by the camp administration. They must, however, be listed as being collected on the summer camp unit checklist. All units attending camp this summer need to ensure that they are prepared to quickly remove a camper from camp should they present with any coronavirus symptoms during their daily screening process or throughout the week. Open, clear, and concise communication with the parents and guardians of your scouts is essential to making this happen. We strongly recommend that each of your scouts' parents or guardians and any adults attending camp without a vehicle have a plan in place to remove themselves or their camper from camp should the need arise, including providing you with a backup contact. Please make sure that any person who may pick up a scout from camp is listed on their health and or camper release form as an approved adult. In the event that COVID-19 symptoms present themselves in any of your campers while at camp, they will be immediately isolated and will need to be picked up in a quick and timely manner. It will be the responsibility of the unit leadership at camp to make the appropriate contacts or provide transportation, ensuring that all youth protection standards are met. Unit commitment to transport forms are to be signed by the adult who will be serving as the scoutmaster during the unit's stay at summer camp. They will need to include their cell phone number so that they can be contacted by the camp should one of their campers need to be removed due to suspected COVID-19 transmission. This form will be collected by the camp as part of your check-in process. In an effort to mitigate the health risk of spreading coronavirus to our volunteers, staff, and adult and youth members, the Michigan Crossroads Council has provided a list of guidelines for implementation by units, unit leaders, and district and council volunteers. The full list of these guidelines can be found on the Program Re-Entry Requirements page at the front of the waiver and liability packet for both youth and adults. While these recommendations are intended to facilitate risk mitigation, every participant in scouting activities must be aware that the coronavirus is very contagious, and participation in any activity can put each participant and others at some risk of exposure to the coronavirus. Please remember that exposure to coronavirus could be asymptomatic. A person who becomes infected with the coronavirus may be an asymptomatic carrier and can infect others even if not displaying any symptoms of the coronavirus. Consequently, it is critical that good health and safety practices be followed in all situations. It is important to address that these forms are the same forms that have been used by the Michigan Crossroads Council since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Parents will need to fill out a release and waiver of liability for each youth camper that they have attending camp. Once the information for the camper is filled in, the parent will need to sign the form. Every adult attending camp for any period of time will need to do the same for themselves. Please note that the Michigan Crossroads Council will not be allowing visitors into camp this summer. Therefore, there is no need for non-registered participants to complete this form. Release and waiver of liability forms for youth and adults will be kept on file with the unit leader while at camp. They will not be collected by the camp administration. They must, however, be listed as being collected on the summer camp unit checklist. Any member in the vulnerable class or over 60 years of age is required to complete the supplemental medical permission form. The vulnerable class is defined as anyone who is immunocompromised or has underlying medical conditions such as chronic lung disease, moderate to severe asthma, heart conditions, conditions that can cause a person to be immunocompromised such as cancer treatment, smoking, bone marrow or organ transplant, immune deficiencies, poorly controlled HIV or AIDS, and prolonged use of corticosteroids and other immune weakening medication, obesity, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and liver disease. This form must be signed by a healthcare provider. Supplemental medical condition forms will be kept on file with the unit leader while at camp. They will not be collected by the camp administration. They must, however, be listed as being collected on the summer camp unit checklist. Effective January 1st, 2010, the National BSA Office states that the only health form accepted by any BSA camp is the BSA Annual Health and Medical Record. C must be all at camp. They must, however, be the National BSA Office states that the only health form accepted by any BSA camp is the BSA Annual Health and Medical Record. Parts A, B, both sides, and C must be completed, including all required signatures for all campers, regardless of how long they will be in attendance at camp. Sports physicals and or any other physical forms will not be accepted. Participants arriving without the proper health form will be expected to complete the proper health form at their expense to be able to remain in camp. No exceptions. Adults without Part C will not be permitted access to camp. No exceptions. Adult leaders will also be required to go through a health check with the unit at check-in along with their youth. Any camper arriving to camp who does not possess a valid BSA health form will not be admitted onto camp property. There will be no refunds for anyone who is not admitted to camp due to an invalid health form. All health forms must be renewed annually for both youth and adults. The BSA health form is valid until the last day of the month, 1 year after it was issued. For example, if your health form is dated June 6th of 2020, it is valid until June 30th of 2021. This form will be collected by the camp as part of your check-in process. Per the State of Michigan policy, all health forms must be kept on file at camp. Health forms will not be returned. Please make sure to bring a photocopy of your health form with you to camp. We are not able to provide a copy of your health form for you. The Summer Resident Camp Unit Checklist serves two purposes. One, as a final check for the unit leader to make sure that all the required paperwork for their unit has been submitted and reviewed. And two, as verification to the camp and the Michigan Crossroads Council that the unit is in compliance with all coronavirus procedures necessary to attend resident camp. Units will need to indicate if the camper is a youth or adult, the camper's last and first name, verify that all applicable forms, which are numbered 1 through 5, have been collected, and verify that those forms are in a single location and are present with the unit while they are at camp. If your unit is larger than 20 people, simply fill out additional forms as necessary. This form will be collected by the camp as part of your check-in process. All participants will also have their temperature recorded on this form upon their arrival to camp. This temperature check will be done by the camp staff. Please do not fill in the temperature column. The Summer Resident Camp Checklist should be signed by the adult who will be serving as the Scoutmaster during the unit stay at summer camp. To assist in helping mitigate coronavirus transmission, each unit will conduct a daily morning screening in the campsite, which will consist of several health questions and a temperature check. This health check must be completed prior to leaving the campsite for morning program. No scouts or adults may leave the campsite in the morning before this procedure is carried out. Units will be provided non-contact infrared thermometers. The responses to the questions and the temperature of each scout and leader will be recorded on this form. Units should designate a unit leader to handle the morning screening. If a participant is not in attendance, such as a scout who has been sent home, or a part-time adult who is not in camp, the unit leader should indicate this by checking the Not in Attendance box next to their name. If your unit is larger than 20 people, simply fill out additional forms as necessary. Each scout and adult must be screened for the symptoms noted. If a camper displays or states yes to any of the symptoms, the unit leader should put a check mark in that box. If a camper does not display or states no to all of the symptoms, the unit leader should check the box for no symptoms. Each camper should then have their temperature taken and recorded. Any scout or adult who displays or states yes to any symptoms or shows a fever of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit must be escorted immediately to the health lodge for evaluation and isolation. It is possible that they won't be cleared if they have symptoms and may need to depart from camp for the remainder of the week. You will be instructed by the camp administration at your camp where and when to turn in this form daily. For the safety of all, more stringent and restrictive rules are in place this year. If at any time you have questions regarding any of our safe scouting forms, please reach out to your camp director. Our outdoor adventures and camp teams are ready and willing to help you have a safe, healthy, and fun summer camp experience.
Thank you, Chris, for playing that video. A couple questions. That presentation, along with all of the paperwork gone through there, is available on michiganscouting.org / camp-safety. I just put that in the chat feature. In regards to scouts and leaders that were going to require a late check-in, there's a question regarding that in here. Contact us directly and we'll schedule time to do that and accommodate you. The daily form mentioned there will be turned into the camp business office daily. Tanya, thank you for asking that question. That kind of rolls us into the next thing I was going to mention. Many of you have heard about Camp Doc, or our online paperwork submission form that we introduced for last year. In due in part to some of this new paperwork and a lot of the COVID specific stuff, we are going to not be using the online submission this year. That is kind of a hot off the press topic, but we will continue to be collecting all paperwork at camp as we have in the past. There's a couple other questions in here. I'm going to ask David to try to sift through those, and we'll get back to some of them later on in the presentation. We're going to spend the rest of tonight's webinar talking about our camp-wide events and kind of going through what a week is going to look like at summer camp this year. Can we get the next slide, please? Summer camp will begin, as always, on Sunday. Sunday is our big check-in day. We'll still be doing the Scoutmaster SPL meeting at 5 o'clock. We will be emphasizing social distancing in that and spreading out around the pavilion. We'll still be doing our camp-wide dinner. However, we're going to be increasing the shifts through which that is served. and we'll also be changing up the menu a little bit to help accommodate a quicker serving and eating for more social distancing to let us kind of get everybody through there a little more efficiently. We will then roll into our camp-wide flag retreat. Again, we'll be focusing on social distancing there. And then lastly, the last thing that we'll do on Sunday is the Program Expo and special event sign up. The Program Expo, if you're new to Cole Canoe Base, is our Sunday night event to sign up for troop or patrol events throughout the course of the week, touch base with merit badge counselors, make any last minute changes to your schedule that need to be made, as well as sign up for river trips and other things that happen throughout the course of the week. As always, we are still offering and encouraging Saturday afternoon check-ins. That's available to you guys at no additional cost. The only thing that we ask is that you let us know about that in advance, and that you'll have an option to check a box when you go to make your final payment on May 5th. Next slide, please. Monday, we will be focusing again on plenty of open events, open shoots, open swimming, open boating. One thing that we're doing a little bit different with these this year, we're still offering all of our open programs, but we're calling them patrol swims, patrol shoots, and that is to emphasize the patrol pod method. We're asking that if a scout goes to an open shoot, he goes with a member of his patrol pod from the merit badge program. This, of course, helps us reinforce and accommodate the buddy system, and also helps us work with social distancing and a couple of the other COVID procedures that we have in place. We will be doing Beast Feast this year. Beast Feast is going to look a little bit different. We are going to increase the area in which it happens. We are going to be using pretty much that entire half of the camp. We're going to be stretching the event all the way from EcoCon up to the chapel to allow for more social distancing. We are cutting out the cooking competition part of it simply because of the challenges with the judging and social distancing. However, we are still doing Beast Feast and all of the other great parts of that event. Additionally, on Monday, you will find merit badge counselor training and our famous night climb down at the climbing tower. We have finalized the weekly schedule of events. It is, if it's not right now, it will be in the next couple hours, posted on our Facebook page, as well as the registration system, and we are getting that out now. So look for the schedule of events if you haven't found it already. Next slide, please. Tuesday at camp is going to still have the same signature events that we've had in the past. Again, plenty of open shoots, open swim, open boating, all of our patrol-oriented programs. Tuesday is also our game night, which is an event that started a few years ago at Crafts. This year we are working to expand that beyond Crafts and get a couple other program areas involved. Of course, we have our signature event down at EcoCon, which is traditionally been referred to as EcoCon Live or Geoparty. That will have a game night theme to it this year to help fit into the overall theme of the evening. Movie night, traditionally held in the Dumas Pavilion. We are moving that down to the Fire Bowl this year. It'll be a movie night under the stars. We are going to put a screen at the bottom of the bowl so that scouts don't have to turn around and look up at the screen the whole night. We're very excited about that event. We think it's going to add a whole new dimension to movie night. And of course, Tuesday we'll also have our Leave No Trace presentations during lunch. That is part of Honor Troop, and that is something we will ask you guys to sign up for in advance at the Sunday Night Program Expo. Next slide, please. Wednesday, more open events, more patrol events. Wednesday night is Scout Vespers, as it has been for several years now. One caveat with Vespers this year, I would say for at least 5 of 7 weeks, it will be in the chapel. For the bigger weeks, we are prepared to move Vespers to the Fire Bowl if we need to accommodate for more social distancing. But for most weeks this summer, we will be able to hold Vespers in the chapel. We have the amazing race at Outdoor Skills, which includes the Portage Challenge, as well as many other outdoor skills and outdoor scouting related challenges and competitions. That will be held Wednesday night in conjunction with Cosgrove Online, our Cosgrove Tech Area themed program area special event, and of course the famous snork hike down at the waterfront, where we go out into the lake and we snorkel and find all of the cool things that we have sunk in the lake over the years. Next slide, please. Thursday night, of course, more open patrol events throughout the course of the day. Thursday evening, there is a euchre tournament between staff and campers, a fun just euchre night in the pavilion. We have the Timber Sports event, which is the evolution of the traditional Lumberjack Festival. We are working to expand that event and bring a new life into it down at the lake. There will be tomahawk throwing, different lumberjack challenges, log rolling, crosscut saws, and a whole festival of activities going on down there. We are going to continue to run the Ice Cream Social on Thursday night. One thing that will be different about the Ice Cream Social this year is it is going to be a grab and go style Ice Cream Social. We will not be doing the big party and the dance party in the Dumas Pavilion this year for obvious reasons. But we are still going to keep the ice cream. And of course, Thursday night is our evening night zip. It's very cool how they do this. They light up the climbing area. They got lights down on the zip line trail and glow sticks, and very cool. Even if you just go to watch, I highly recommend that event. Our next slide brings us into Friday. Friday morning, we have a couple things going on for the Scoutmasters and SPLs. We've got the Scoutmasters Sporting Clays competition at the shotgun range, as well as the Scoutmaster SPL shoot at rifle. Friday morning is our merit badge makeup period. So if you are coming to camp and your troop wants to go out on a river trip, or you have some other reason that a scout needs to miss a merit badge class, in most cases, they will be able to make that up on Friday morning. There are a few limited exceptions to this, and their merit badge counselors will be able to speak to that and clear that up generally on Monday or at the Sunday Night Program Expo. But Friday morning is intended to make up any missed material throughout the course of the week, or if scouts have partials or by appointment merit badges that they'd like to finish up. Friday afternoon is the Bosco Lake Bonanza. That is our new and improved water carnival. We have made some changes to the event to help accommodate social distancing. We're going to be spreading that event all over the Bosco Lake area and not just the waterfront to, again, help us space out and allow everybody to have a good time without having to limit how many people can go to the event. Last, but certainly not least, Friday night after the camp-wide flag retreat is our famous Cole Canoe Base closing campfire. And if you haven't seen one, you're not going to want to miss it. It is perhaps the greatest campfire in scouting, in my opinion. Saturday, last but not least, is our campsite cleanup and checkout. We will be helping to accommodate checkout throughout the course of the week to help smooth this process. We're going to ask units to start squaring up any outstanding bills or paperwork with the business office as early as Thursday afternoon. And then, of course, Friday as well. That's going to help us make Saturday a nice, smooth checkout procedure. Your staff host will have some additional instructions for you guys at checkout, where to stack picnic tables, how to do it, and how to help us get the campsite ready for the next week. We are asking and strongly asking to please plan to be checked out and out of your campsite no later than 11:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. Many troops do this anyways, but we really need this time to flip the camp and get everything sanitized and prepped for the next week of campers, because we're going to be going through every campsite on Saturday afternoon, sanitizing latrines, picnic tables, any high touch areas, or high traffic areas, if you will. So please help us out by making sure you guys got your program together and are ready to get out of there at a good hour on Saturday. That helps bring us through the weekly schedule of events. We have a couple additional housekeeping things to bring up. We've had a lot of questions and conversation about pre-camp swim checks over the last month or so. We are working with the MCC Aquatics Committee to provide some pre-camp swim check opportunities at our camps. So we'll be doing one at Cole Canoe Base on May 29th. They are also doing one at D-Bar A, I believe, on June 5th. And we are trying to figure out what opportunity we're going to have at Gerber. But these events are open to all scouts that are going to MCC camps this year. We're also making accommodations for people who are going to national bases that need swim checks, like at Northern Tier. There's more information coming out on this in the near future, but the important thing to realize is if you live in Metro Detroit and you want to do a pre-camp swim check, you can go to D-Bar A to do it. You don't have to come all the way up to Cole Canoe Base to do it. If you want to come up to Cole, you're more than welcome. We're happy to have you. And there are additional opportunities for pre-camp swim checks, but this is something that we are doing to try to help ease some of the tension. And of course, this is available at no additional cost to you guys. Next slide. We are always looking for staff. We have a number of positions still available, both paid and volunteer. Our staff is an amazing group of people. They work hard, but they have a lot of fun, and it is a very, very rewarding experience. I highly encourage you guys, if you've got scouts, even some of your leaders that are looking to do something fun and different with their summer, get in contact with us. We would love to have them on our staff. Applications are available at michiganscouting.org, or you can contact us directly and we will point you in the right direction. We have a number of things coming up this spring as we get ready for camp. First and foremost, this upcoming weekend is one of 3 wilderness first aid courses. The first one is this weekend. The second one is next weekend. We did have a couple last minute spots open up for next weekend's course. So if you're still trying to get wilderness first aid straightened out for this summer, go ahead and look that up on the council website or send me an email. And we have a couple spots for that. And we have a number of spots still available for our fall wilderness first aid course. In getting camp ready, we have a spring cleanup event on May 8th. And of course, Mix Fix is May 22nd. Those are both available for sign up through michiganscouting.org. The spring cleanup event is going to be a general cleanup of camp. We've been not able to do much for the last couple of years. We're excited to have people back in, but we've got a lot of cleanup to do to get camp ready. Mix Fix on May 22nd is a little more skill oriented. We're gonna have some renovations to our latrines and a couple other big jobs going on, but we are excited to have any help that anybody can offer for either of those 2 weekends. So please reach out if you'd like more information or check it out online. June 5th, we are doing the Venturing Officers Association Rifle River Gauntlet. This is a part canoe race, part water carnival organized by the VOA. It is open to all scouts that are venturing age, and Connie Nye is the chairperson for that event. If you'd like more information, reach out to me. I will get you in contact with Connie. And of course, we've got a whole host of programs going on in the fall that we will talk to you guys more about this summer. As we roll into the question and answer part of this presentation. I'm going to sift through the chat here and see what we can do. Next slide, please.
So, Greg, one common question earlier in this presentation was if the waiver and release forms for council and COVID procedures, if those liability waivers that were signed last fall are still valid for this summer, or if they need to get new forms.
My understanding is that they are still valid for this summer. We would ask you to bring them with you and make sure you have them at camp just in case there's any questions, but you shouldn't have to re-sign them. The food menu is in its final stages. We're making some adjustments to the food manual procedural side of the thing. We'll have that released in the very near future.
Oh, were you able to hear me?
What was it? No, David, I don't think I heard you. Okay. We are hiring camp staff, 15 and older for paid positions, 14 to be a CIT. That was a question from David Weaver. Is David?
Greg, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I'm not hearing any audio from you.
Yeah, can somebody put in the chat, is David the only one who doesn't hear me, or is there a problem with my computer? Okay, thank you, all the people commenting other than David. And
cool. Based on the messages, it looks like I'm just the only one who can't hear Greg. Sorry about that, everyone.
Greg, this is Chris. I'll kind of help answer some of the questions.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep, lots of folks have asked about the video you saw and all the forms that are required, the additional forms. If you go to michiganscouting.org/camp-safety, all of those videos are there. There's we're putting together, and it's almost ready for release, a parent video that talks specifically about the forms that a parent needs to make sure that they have filled out: the medical form, the waivers, so there will be a video for your parents as well that you can share with them. But all those videos are there, and all the forms are there as well.
Thank you, Chris. I'm seeing a question about age requirements for kayaking from John. John, we will be able to get that waived. Go ahead and shoot me an email, please. I'm going to have to do an override in the system, but we want to do everything we can to keep your pod together throughout the week. I had another question and I lost it. DHHS forms are still required for anybody in camp age 21 or older. That is a one and done kind of a program. So as long as your membership hasn't lapsed, if you turned in a form previously, we should still have it on file. If you would like to verify that, you can contact Linda Wallner at scouting.org, linda.wallner@scouting.org, or send me an email and I will get you in touch with Linda. She is the one who keeps track of all of that for us. Yes, we would like dietary restrictions 2 weeks prior to camp. There is a form on michiganscouting.org that you can fill out for that. We do encourage you guys, if you fill out the form, to please give us a call just to make sure that we got it. Never helps to double check, or never hurts to double check, but we would like those 2 weeks before camp. Michael Johnson, looking to get in touch with Chris on staffing. Reach out to me via email. I will send you her number. Jim, I think we can get that for you, the additional forms. The Honor Troop and Gateway competitions are still going to be happening this year. We're in the final revision of the Honor Troop program, and we'll have more information on that during the May webinar. If your registry form from last year, yes, it is still good. If you'd like to reach out to Linda to verify that we have it, we should, but it never hurts to double check. In questions about wait lists and merit badge classes that have booked up, if you have scouts that are already in the pod that are in the merit badge, please shoot me an email with the names of everybody involved. You guys will kind of get first priority. We are reviewing wait lists every couple days, so if you can't get somebody in, get them on a wait list. Reach out to me if you'd like a little bit more attention paid to that. But we are working diligently on that. The question is if patrol pods stay together for the events and everything. We are asking patrol pods to stick together in a buddy group as much as they can throughout the course of the week. That being said, if you have a patrol pod of 5 scouts and 3 of them want to go to open shoot and 2 of them don't, it's okay to send the 3 to open shoot and the other 2 can hang out at camp or do whatever. That's kind of the answer to that question, I think. But we are, again, doing everything we can to accommodate that and make that as seamless as possible. Rob, you had your central registry sent directly to you. That is okay, but we're going to ask you to bring a copy of it to camp with you because we do have to have it on file to make the state of Michigan happy. We need all sorts of help from troops. We are looking for help getting camp ready. We're looking for help funding different projects and getting program equipment. I wouldn't say it's anything above and beyond the normal scope, but we are absolutely always looking for help. Michelle will hopefully likely get in touch with you before your week of camp. If you're trying to be a merit badge counselor, you can reach out to her. If not, feel free to follow up with her at the program expo or reach out to me and I'll see what the holdup is. Yes, bicycles are still allowed this year. Question about tenting. If scouts or parents live in the same household, they can tent together. However, they also need to be in the same pod. So if they're in different pods, they need to be in different tents. Part-time adults are being handled on a one-on or a case-by-case basis. We are permitting it, but please reach out to myself or Linda. The general procedure is that they still have to do all the same check-in and everything as anybody else, but they'll still need to schedule a time to check in and go through a couple things. Adults are encouraged to pod up, however and wherever possible. We understand that in some cases, adult podding is not necessarily practical, but we are asking the adults to practice social distancing and do whatever they can to help with the underlying intention of that program. OA callouts are available by request. If you get in touch with me, I will get you in touch with our Camp OA Chief, Matt Grimble, and he will work you through that process. If you are looking to pre-order camp t-shirts with your troop number screen printed on them, reach out to me. I will get you in touch with Chris and get the appropriate stuff ordered. If you are looking for custom t-shirts, please reach out sooner rather than later because we are coming up on the deadline for getting stuff done. Troops can check in anytime after 2 o'clock on Saturday. We are asking scouts to wear masks pretty much whenever they are not eating, sleeping, or in or around water. Social distancing and masks whenever possible. Scouts and parents can stay in the same tent, but they have to kind of operate in the same pod. So we would ask the adult to social distance as much as possible or be with the scout in that instance. We are not requiring an adult to be with each pod. The pods are free to operate with youth leadership or kind of on their own. If you'd like to have an adult signed to each pod, you're more than welcome to, but we are not requiring it. This person's name is just G, but they are asking a question about age requirements and how to accommodate that with pods. Please reach out to me directly, and I will help work you through that. We do have a couple different avenues to take, but I need to understand your specific situation. Yeah, however many vehicles we need to accommodate getting everybody to and from camp is what we're going to do. We are going to be working with, the same size parking lot we always have worked with in the past. But if we need to use auxiliary parking, we have that at our disposal. We're anticipating that's not going to be much of a concern throughout most of the summer. But Matt, the answer to your question is yes. Jim, I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. Okay, I've got a couple people saying that. Scouts and parents, it appears, cannot stay in the same tent. We'll get clarification on that. There will be limits on the number of people in the camp store at any given time for social distancing. We're also trying to adjust the hours a little bit to try to make it as easygoing as possible over there, but we are going to have to limit how many people can actually be inside at any given time. Rob, you're saying your boy troop and your girl troop are both at camp, but in separate campsites. We would tend to try to put linked units together. Not sure why it's appearing that way. Please reach out to me directly or to Linda if you have her email address, and we'll get that taken care of for you. All right. Are there any other questions that I seem to have missed in the chat log here? Please type them in now. Ryan, we'll probably be able to get you a waiver for that 11-year-old. Reach out to me directly because I need to do an override in the system to do that for you. If you're doing your swim checks at any of the MCC camps, you will need the basic restart scouting paperwork. You should not need Part C of the health form because you're only going to be there for a couple hours, but please bring Parts A and B. We would prefer separate copies of paperwork if you have linked units. That helps us keep our side of the operation clear. If you have concerns about that, please reach out to me. But 2 units, 2 paperworks. At this time, we are doing the same rules whether you've been vaccinated or not. We'll let you know if anything changes. Ronald, on t-shirts, you could reach out to me directly or to Chris or to Chris, and we'll get that taken care of for you. David Huber, that's a great idea. We'll take that under advisement and see what we can do. We're also working towards some kind of an online program, but that's probably still a little bit down the road. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I have my email address and my cell phone number on the screen. Please feel free to reach out to me if there are more questions or concerns that come up. We look forward to seeing you guys in camp this summer and at our next webinar on May 20th. The May 20th webinar is going to be kind of the general overview and synopsis with the latest and greatest updates, and will take the place of our traditional pre-camp leaders meetings that we used to do at various locations around the state. There was one question that came through while I was talking about swimsuit guidelines for boys and girls. That is available in the leader's manual, but the basic underlying principle is one-piece bathing suits for girls and no Speedos. Jim Smith, reach out to me, gregory.zadan@scouting.org, and I will get you an email address for Gus so that you can send him your best wishes. We have a question about food allotments and patrol cooking with pods. We are going to continue to do patrol cooking as we have in the past, where we are going to give you guys the food and it is up to you how you divvy it up. In certain instances, especially with some of our larger units, it's just not practical for us to expect every single pod to do all their own cooking. If you're outfitted to be able to do that, more power to you. But we'll have some specific guidance on that when the food manual comes out. Well, all right, guys, I think we are ready to wrap it up just a couple minutes early here. Thank you again for joining us. Have a fantastic evening, and I look forward to seeing everybody and working with you guys this summer and beyond. Have a fantastic night, and see you around.